It was a gloomy day at Lakeside High School, a place nestled near the edge of the sprawling Pinecrest Forest. Our school had always been known for its remote location, a quiet haven away from the hustle and bustle of the city. But that day, the isolation would become our greatest terror. The morning bell rang, and we settled into our usual routines. But the tranquility shattered when a frantic announcement came over the intercom. The principal's voice, trembling with urgency, declared a lockdown. Panic surged through the school like an electric shock as we scrambled to safety. I found myself in room 204 with Mrs. Hernandez's math class. The windows were boarded up, and we cowered in the darkened classroom, our hearts pounding with fear. As the minutes passed, dread hung in the air like a storm cloud. Suddenly we heard it, the distant sound of sirens approaching. The police were racing to Lakeside High. Rumors spread like wildfire among us. A dangerous fugitive had escaped from a nearby prison, and the school was in lockdown to keep us safe. Tensions escalated as we awaited the police's arrival. The atmosphere grew thick with fear and uncertainty. We huddled in silence, the only sound being the faint tapping of rain against the windows. Then, as the sirens drew nearer, an eerie sensation gripped the room. The temperature dropped, and a sinister chill filled the air. Shadows danced on the walls, and whispers echoed through the darkness. The fugitive had somehow infiltrated the school, moving like a phantom through the hallways. Panic rippled through us, our imaginations running wild with thoughts of the fugitive lurking just outside the classroom door. In the pitch-black room, we couldn't see our own hands in front of us, but we could hear the faintest of sounds, the click of a lock, a creaking floorboard. Every noise sent shivers down our spines. Then, the whispers grew louder, their words unintelligible but dripping with malevolence. They seemed to come from all directions, as if the very walls themselves were trying to communicate. As the minutes turned to hours, we were paralyzed by fear. The police hadn't arrived yet, and the fugitive's presence continued to haunt us. The darkness seemed to close in, and the air grew heavy with an oppressive dread. Just as hope was slipping away, the distant wail of sirens grew deafening, and the police arrived in a flurry of flashing lights and urgency. They swept through the school, and we heard the scuffle of a struggle in the hallway. The fugitive had been captured, and the nightmare was over. But the memories of that day would forever haunt us. The day Lakeside High School became a battleground between the living and the desperate, escaped soul of a fugitive. I'll never forget that fateful day at Crestwood High School. The sun streamed through the windows, casting warm, golden hues across our classroom. It was just an ordinary afternoon in our small town, but little did we know that something sinister lurked beneath the very floors we walked on. The day took a chilling turn when the principal's trembling voice crackled through the intercom, announcing an unexpected lockdown. Fear gripped our hearts as we scrambled to follow protocol. We barricaded ourselves in Mr. Johnson's history classroom, the blinds drawn to block out the world outside. Minutes turned into hours, and the sense of unease was palpable. We whispered to each other, trying to make sense of the situation. That's when we heard it, a faint rhythmic tapping that seemed to resonate from beneath our feet. We dismissed it at first, thinking it was just our nerves playing tricks on us. But the tapping grew louder, echoing throughout the room. It felt as if it were emanating from the very floor we stood on. Our curiosity got the best of us, and we began to shift our desks, attempting to pinpoint the source of the strange noise. Hidden beneath a dusty, tattered rug, we discovered an ancient wooden trapdoor. It had been concealed for years, buried beneath layers of neglect. It was a portal, they said, to the forbidden basement, a place shrouded in legend and whispered about in the darkest corners of the school. Driven by curiosity, we slowly lifted the trapdoor and descended into the chilling darkness below. The air grew colder with each step, and the walls seemed to close in on us. Unearthly whispers, like the murmurings of forgotten souls, echoed through the narrow corridors, sending shivers down our spines. As we ventured deeper, we stumbled upon a chamber bathed in an eerie crimson glow. At its center lay an ominous ancient tome, the Book of Shadows. Its pages were filled with sinister incantations and eldritch rituals etched in blood-red ink. It didn't take long for us to realize the gravity of our discovery. We had unwittingly disturbed forces beyond our comprehension, awakening something malevolent that had been trapped within the basement's depths for centuries. Desperation set in as we tried to escape the relentless grip of the supernatural. The school itself seemed to come alive, its corridors shifting and distorting to confound and trap us. We were caught in a nightmarish labyrinth, where reality and the realm of the unknown became indistinguishable. With each passing hour, the line between the living and the dead blurred, and we were forced to confront the chilling consequences of our curiosity. The malevolent entity, once bound by arcane seals, sought to possess us as vessels for its maleficent purposes. The whispers grew louder, their voices intertwining with our screams as we desperately fought to escape the supernatural horrors that now surrounded us. We were trapped in a nightmarish tale, the ending of which was uncertain and haunting. Let me take you to a place far from here, Millfield High School, a sprawling institution situated in the heart of a bustling metropolis. It was a typical day, or so we thought, until an unexpected lockdown turned our lives into a waking nightmare. The day had started like any other. Students bustled through the halls, teachers imparted knowledge, and the promise of the weekend beckoned. But as the clock ticked away, an eerie stillness settled over the school, a stark contrast to the usual bustle. The principal's voice trembled over the intercom, declaring a lockdown. Fear rippled through the corridors as students and teachers followed the protocol, retreating to their designated safe zones. I found myself in room 303, Mr. Turner's history class, with a mix of anxious faces. As we huddled together, our eyes darted around the dimly lit classroom, searching for answers. Time dragged on, and unease permeated the air. We whispered, exchanged theories, and tried to soothe each other's nerves. But something far more sinister was about to unfold. It began as a subtle distortion in the air, a wavering, shimmering quality. At first, we dismissed it as a trick of the light, a result of our frazzled nerves. But the distortions intensified, and we soon realized they were forming shapes, holograms, or so they seemed. These holographic apparitions manifested on the classroom's periphery, flickering and unstable. They took the form of students, teachers, and even the principal himself. But something was terribly amiss. Their eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and their voices carried an eerie, hollow quality. The holograms seemed to replay scenes from the past, a teacher writing on the chalkboard, students engaged in animated discussions, and the principal delivering announcements. But the scenes were grotesquely distorted, as if reflecting a twisted, malevolent version of reality. We watched in horror as the holograms started to speak in unison, reciting cryptic messages that sent shivers down our spines. "We are the echoes of the past," they intoned. "We are the ones who never left." Desperation filled the room as we realized the holograms were not mere projections, but entities, trapped souls of students and staff who had been part of Millfield High's dark history. They sought answers and closure, and they believed we held the key. The holograms' messages grew more ominous, their demands more urgent. They beckoned us to uncover the secrets of the school's past, to unravel the mysteries that had trapped their souls within the digital realm. They warned of dire consequences if we failed to comply. As the lockdown persisted, we found ourselves torn between a terrifying choice, confronting the chilling truths of our school's history, or facing the wrath of vengeful spirits trapped in the realm of holograms. The room grew colder, and the boundary between the living and the digital echoes blurred. We were caught in a nightmarish blend of the past and the present, trapped in a web of supernatural torment that defied explanation.